Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Summer Lunch and Learn series. This is Helen Panos, and today on June, actually, we're going to be doing Summer Lunch and Learns on Tuesdays at noon. And then in July, we'll probably go back to Wednesdays, and we'll be doing this all the way through at least August this year, possibly September, but through August. We'll decide on September later. But I wanted to come on and talk today to you. First of all, let me introduce myself. Helen Panos, founder of Dynamis Learning, a K through 12 tutoring, SAT, ACT prep company. We also do executive functioning. I have those are very important skills. If you don't know about that, we've had some lunch and learns in May about that, and you can find those all on my YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, and you can scroll back and see those. But today we're going to talk about why bright students underperform on the SAT, ACT, because it's June and the kids are getting ready to take these exams actually this Saturday and the following Saturday. This is a very popular date to take them in June. If you have a junior, you should definitely think about them, definitely rising junior. Have them take it in December of this year for at least the first time, if not before. And again in June of next year for sure, and then probably in the spring. We suggest you do it 3 times. I just wanted to come on with this topic for the next pretty much 2 weeks because I'm getting a lot of phone calls for SAT and ACT prep, and we're starting a lot of them now. Some kids are going to take it in July, so now's a good time to start. And a little bit late actually. So please talk to us now if you're going to take SAT, ACT in September even. So let's talk about the bright students underperforming. So many students who struggle on the SAT or ACT are not struggling because they aren't smart enough. Often they're struggling because the test measures far more than intelligence. We all know bright kids are intelligent, right? But it's not just about that these tests are all about. So ask yourself if you have ever looked at your child's grades and wondered why the test scores don't match, meaning they don't match with what they're doing in the classroom. I was like that. I can tell you I was exactly that way. I could not test well on the SAT, ACT, but I had a very high GPA and graduated with honors from high school. So ask yourself also, does your teen know the material, but they still run out of time or they make careless mistakes? That's some of the questions I ask when I'm talking to parents and identifying what's going on. If they've taken the test already and they come to me and they ask, we need to get them to this score. Maybe they're trying to get the Zell scholarship or the Hope scholarship in Georgia. So, or they know what the college wants, or they just need a few more points because that will help if you're trying to get into UGA, let's say, or Georgia Tech. So let's talk about executive function skills for a minute. I brought this up, but this is very important when it comes down to, wish I had known this myself when I was in high school, when it comes down to taking tests like these, very, nationally normed, standardized tests. So the test will measure time management, if you think about it. And now they have shortened both of these tests, so that helps. Sustained attention, it definitely does that. I remember when was taking my GACE test to be a teacher. It's all about, is your brain going to get tired by the time you're done with this test? And mine was about 3 hours long. The SAT, ACT is about 2 hours, 10 minutes or so. So much shorter now. Planning, because you got to plan to prep for this test. Self-monitoring and mental flexibility, and also working memory, which tends to be somewhat weak in kids today, unfortunately. But those are what these kinds of tests are actually measuring, not just content, but all these things that I just mentioned. These are executive functioning skills. So let's talk about examples of what these are. Losing focus halfway through because you're getting bored. Rushing the last section because you realize you're running out of time and maybe spent too much time on a question. Misreading directions. Kids do that frequently. Difficulty recovering after a hard question. You're like, God, this question was so hard. And it just like wears the teen down. And then, they get bogged down about what just happened, and then it affects them in the rest of the test. So these are all basically executive functioning skills. Key line, here's something to remember. A bright student without strong executive function systems can underperform even when they know the content. Let me repeat that. A bright student without strong executive function systems can underperform even when they know the content. It does happen to smart students. I have one we're tutoring right now. The mom told me, do you have any tips or strategies, because she gets test anxiety? And I sent her what I'm going to share with you guys right now, which is my SAT, ACT Essential Student Guide. There's some great ideas in there. I snapshot and sent a page to her to help with her teen. But you can get it here, and I will also make that link live when I'm done with this, and you can get it if your child is taking the SAT, ACT. All right, let's talk about anxiety changes the performance as well. I think I just mentioned test anxiety. That seems to be pretty popular, actually, and I'm pretty sure I had it as well when I took the SAT, and I only took it one time back in the day. Now kids are taking it a lot more, which is good. Back then, that's not what they told us to do, right? Parents, you could probably remember that. So let's discuss test anxiety, pressure, perfectionism. Some kids that are definitely smart and bright have this perfectionism going on. Blanking under stress. They totally blank out. So how does the brain work differently under pressure? Let's talk about that. Working memory becomes overloaded, and then they can't perform well, even if they know the content. Panicking affects timing and reasoning. I can think back to when I took the SAT, and that happened to me. I was more concerned about everybody around me and why were they finishing already, and I was still going. Students second guessing themselves. They tend to do that a lot. So that's why you take SAT, ACT prep, so that you can know how to overcome, especially these three things: working memory overload, panicking affecting timing, and how to get around that. Students second guessing themselves. So I want you to remember this, parents. Confidence and emotional regulation are part of the test prep too. Again, confidence and emotional regulation are part of the test prep. And I can, again, attest to that. And I've seen this in other kids. So let's talk about students often using the wrong prep approach. Some common mistakes that we see as a company: only taking practice tests, studying too late because they're busy with schoolwork and all that, and then they put the test prep at the end of their night, and maybe they're doing this at midnight. Best to do it when you're much more refreshed and your brain is relaxed. Inconsistent schedules. They're not really practicing on a routine and making a habit out of that and plugging it into their schedule. Focusing only on content gaps. That's not true. That's not what you should be doing for SAT, ACT prep. Some people think that. That's more for maybe classroom tests. No strategy instruction. So there's no strategy on how to approach certain problems, like your more difficult ones. Do you attack those? How much time do you spend on those? Things like that. So pacing does matter, parents. Strategy does matter. Recovery skills does matter, because they got to have these recovery skills. Like if they hit a hard question, what's going to happen? Spend time on it. Don't spend time on it. How do you approach it? Knowing how to take the test matters. That's the kids who do very well on these tests. They know how to take them. Let's talk about small changes that can create big score growth. Here's what kids should be doing: targeted strategy, timing systems, practicing routines. Oh, definitely sleeping and getting a consistent amount of sleep weeks before, so your brain is in that mode of being rested. Reducing the overwhelm. What do you do when you get overwhelmed? Or you feel like you're losing time, or again, you're hitting too many hard questions all at once, one after the other. Learning how the student's brain works. is very important. And you know your child, and we really do appreciate parents who let us know that, hey, I think my child does have test anxiety. Okay, great. We need to talk about that with them and some strategies and tips on how to deal with that. So sometimes students don't need more hours, they need better systems so that they can score higher. A lot of times, again, people think it's, oh, you didn't practice enough. You didn't practice enough. I hear this. But sometimes it could be the time management system they have. There's just other things that go into play when you're taking a test like the SAT or ACT. So I invite you parents to have a consultation with us. Again, people have been calling us quite a bit. Been giving quite a number of them to my SAT, ACT prep guy who's got over 30 years experience. So he's very familiar how to take these tests, how to score better. We look at your scores. If you've taken them before, we'd love to look at your scores. That helps us. And I ask parents to give those to me. So schedule consultation at this number. You can text me at this number, 770-282-9931, or email me at info@dynamislearningacademy.com. Take a practice test. Have your child take a practice test ahead of time. Let's see what they do. They should probably time themselves as well. Start earlier than later, folks. Again, I'm getting phone calls right now, and a child's taking the test in July. That's called rushing it and cramming. And that's not probably the best way we'd like to do prep. And prep is not cheap. We know that. So let's, capitalize on all the good related to the prep, which means we'd like to hear from you guys 3 months before the test date that you're going to take it. Now, there's nothing wrong with them going in and trying to take it themselves the first time. That's fine. But by the second time, and they want to take it again, definitely immediately, depending on how he felt or she felt, we like to hear about that from the child and go from there and immediately start the test prep if you're going to take it within 2 or 3 months after that. So learn about executive function coaching and test prep support, and we can help with that. I have 3 executive function coaches that are working over the summer, and they're happy to help your children with some executive functioning skills. And my tutor also knows some of those as well. So if the goal isn't just higher scores, it's helping students feel capable and confident. Again, the goal isn't just higher scores. It's really helping students feel capable and confident, because that actually helps them in testing higher. Again, happy to help you guys out. I'm going to, again, put in and mention my SAT, ACT. Well, that's a SMART goal planner. That's not a bad idea as well. But I have the actual SAT, ACT essential student guide for you all. Definitely look at this. I go through what a child could be doing 3 months out, 2 months out, 4 weeks, 4 weeks out, 2 weeks out, the day before. This will help again with test anxiety, prepping, planning for this big test. And I will have the exact link for you guys in the comment section and underneath the actual intro, if I can get it up there. All right, guys. Next week, we're back on. It's going to be me again on next Tuesday. And that topic is going to be SAT, ACT prep without the family stress. So join me on June 9th at noon. Then on June 16th, have a special guest. Her name is Dr. Linda Silbert. She is the owner and founder of Strong Learning. She is so highly intelligent, has so much experience and knowledge to share with you all. Her topic is about why good kids get bad grades. And, she wrote a book, so we'll be talking about that. And appreciate you guys joining us. And I will let you know about our other 2 guests later for the last 2 Tuesdays in June. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.